Welcome back to the Good Talk, our post-game recap and Q&A show where we discuss the game we just played and answer all your burning questions, both Warhammer and otherwise. How you guys doing?
Hey!
You kept laughing. I was like, are we not live? Am I just doing a thing now? We just came out of an awesome game between two mortal foes, Adrian and Bridger, but also the Imperial Fists versus the Iron Warriors. And it was awesome. It was totally wild. I'm just going to keep going.
You got me good on that one.
Thank you. Played this was the first time we've ever played the Iron Warriors on stream.
Ever?
Yeah, ever. So it was super cool, different. We definitely got to see some strengths of them for sure.
Yeah. They were a lot stronger than I expected.
They're good, right?
Yeah.
I think they're one of, if not the best Legion. You know?
Yeah.
I think we like
maybe Alpha Legion close second?
Alpha Legion close second. Red Corsairs are just like, they make a lot of things playable, but it still doesn't shake things up enough.
Well, it's just like, the funny thing is the two good Legions are the Legions that have the most strat support and buff support for Obliterators.
Oh, Emperor's Children
also. It is
also.
Codex Obliterators.
Yeah. Emperor's Children are good though too.
Yes, the second unit that you care about buffing is Plasma Terminators.
Yeah.
But like, we saw, they're not good.
No.
You have to stack a bunch of buffs on them for them to be okay.
This was the first game that I didn't do that, and they died like chumps.
They're really weak.
I didn't even shoot the plasma because I was like, they're just going to die.
It's kind of embarrassing how easy it is to kill Chaos Terminators.
Yeah. It's
and
sad.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree.
How do you fix that? I don't know.
Well, a wound would be nice.
Yeah.
And in some ways, you had good counters to them. I mean, so here's the thing. The Heavy Bolter, 2 damage, would not work if I was 3 damage. Huge offset. But you also ignore cover. And one of the strengths of Terminators is having that 2-up cover to a 1-up. So that was interesting. We both ignore cover. My rerolling to wound against buildings didn't actually come up this game. Maybe next time. But your Exploding 6s are a cute ability.
Well, but you also had Exploding 6s. And I think you made better use of it because you have it on actual guns and I have it on toy guns, squirt guns.
So good. I love that Warlord trait.
I like how Fist is like specifically squirt guns.
Only squirt guns.
What
about this gun? No, not that one. Sorry.
See, that gun actually deals damage. Not allowed to get exploding.
Best we can do is a Heavy Bolter. You're like, okay, can I at least get like my special doctrine with Heavy Bolter?
It's a big squirt gun.
No.
It's like a super soaker.
Oh, like one of the big
Heavy
super
bolters
soakers.
are.
Yeah. It's one of those ones. Did you ever have? I remember when I was a kid. One of the exciting ones was there was a squirt gun that would form like spheres, and it would literally shoot spheres. And so, like, it was very short range, but when it hits you, it would just soak you because it's just a ball of water. It's magic.
So it was like a noob tube. You had a squirt gun noob tube.
It was like ka-kunk, and it would just. Anyways, that's a Heavy Bolter. Cool game. Highlights, downfalls.
I mean, okay. Centurions did something.
They had that moment on first turn. I was like, oh my goodness.
They found the perfect target for Heavy Bolters. They used their Heavy Bolters, and then, you know what? The next turn they rotted. Wow. And then from there on, they displayed why they are so overcosted. 300 points for a unit that moves 4 inches and shoots the guns of a maybe 75-point unit.
Yeah.
Like, they're not good.
Yeah. No, they're definitely not. I want them to get a bit of support back if and when an update comes, just to make them just playable. You know, I think they're obviously in the penalty box right now. But it was cool because we put them on the table. Yeah. The scouts were on the table.
Hey, they did a job nobody else could do.
They rotted.
And they killed a character. Nobody else killed a character.
That's true.
They sniped a character in turn 5.
At the very end.
Tor Garadon, he pulled through. Every time
he was great.
He had to do something, he did it.
Yep.
He was a beast. Strength 15. What are you going to do?
Oh my god.
That's probably not even how the strength multiplier works. But he's at least strength 12.
Did you add
which was enough.
So strength 13, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's enough.
You're tough 6, right? You're tough 7? Was I not wounding you on 2?
No, I think the Venom Crawlers are T6. They're smaller.
In 8th edition, it used to be that you modified that if they both modified the weapon, it was multiply then add. But because of the way that you did the buff, it was +1 to the strength characteristic.
Right.
Which then gets changed by the weapon multiply add.
Yeah.
So it's really add multiply add.
Right.
But that's not true. Now it's just multiply add.
Yeah, they're T7.
Tor Garadon shouldn't have killed the Venom Crawler.
That's fine. But he was still solid. It's like we said at the beginning. One of the reasons you don't see him, other than just being fists, is the generic ones are so powerful because they have amazing things like Rights of War or whatever other thing.
Oh man, I would have killed for Rights of War at any point in this game.
Well, that was, we did have to, in balancing this game, kind of figure that out. Rights of War is such a skewy thing. It's like,
And to be honest, most of my stuff already had OBSEC. Like, most of the army was troop stresses.
Like your bikers and
just
characters.
The Outriders and the characters.
Yeah.
Once you're down to just the stuff that isn't normally OBSEC. Like, your opponent's going to kill your OBSEC in order to win the scoring game.
Yeah.
So just making everything OBSEC kind of offsets that so that in the later turns you still have OBSEC.
I agree. Do you have an MVP for your army? Was it Torgaradon?
It's got to be Torgaradon.
Yeah.
The only other thing that could have been MVP was the Plasma Redemptor. And he died like a chump. And like...
Because he had to.
And he whiffed his one turn.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He whiffed so bad.
One shot. Rerolled into 2 shots.
I just needed him to do anything.
I thought he was going to one-shot a Venom Crawler twice.
Yeah.
But once we survived that first one, I just had to put everything in, right? Yeah. My Obliterator management was a bit conservative.
They were
but
so
that
good.
Was not the turn
it didn't even, like...
They just killed
Didn't even matter.
They are for sure my MVP.
Yeah, they were ridiculous.
100%. So obviously Prescience rerolling 1s from the Chaos Lord, exploding 6s, and then of course the other big thing from Iron Hands is being able to from 1 CP re-roll their Flesh Metal, which is amazing. Like we always talk about, you have to take a Master Possession if you're going to play Obliterators because it lets you re-roll one of those dice. This lets you re-roll all of them.
Yeah, you 50% overkilled everything you shot at.
Yeah.
You could have killed basically any 2 units every time you activated them.
Yes, 100%, 100%. It's
ridiculous.
That's an army I wish I had more CP because there's amazing strats in that supplement. So, yeah.
What did you think of the game, Zach?
It was good. To be honest with you, what makes those 2 factions unique in the lore is that they're boring. And that's what makes them awesome. They are just like these slow, methodical factions.
All right, Zach.
That just like march and shoot, and that's
what
this game was.
I'm gonna let you finish. Who built the better sandcastle?
The best sandcastle, it was the biker, the Outrider sandcastle.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair.
For creativity, right? Nobody would have thought
Impromptu.
2 bikers could carry a sandcastle with them on their bikes.
It's good technique.
But that is why this is like an iconic classic matchup, right? Like going back to the Heresy days, I know there's a Zach hot take, but like these 2 factions are very low drama. Low
drama. I don't know.
You continue to hot take.
Fists have a lot of drama.
Doran is a little bit.
Perturabo is this also very. There's a ton of drama.
It's not just Doran.
Okay. All Primarchs are massive drama factions.
No, but it's not just Doran. The whole Fists, like their whole thing is captains getting like moody and upset and branching off and making a new faction.
That's because the code of the faction, the paradigm of the faction,
is to be boring.
Is to be boring.
Yeah.
And so it's all pent up all the time.
Right. Sure. Okay.
So nobody
they're
nobody sees
puritanical.
the Night Lord is like, look how boring these guys are.
I get what he's saying. They're puritanical, which causes the drama.
Not puritanical. They're very
Boring?
resolute. They're very just like, here's what we're doing. This is what needs to be done. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
March forward. No magic. Like grab your stupid bolter. Like that's it. Like they're not. There's no.
I can understand how you would think that as a non-Fist player. Because there's actually so much. That's like okay, you look at the book, you read the chapter tactic, like that's how they are, right? But like the whole do you know about the Last Wall protocol on all that stuff?
They have cool stuff.
Super cool.
It is cool stuff, but it's
interesting.
It's all theoretical though.
It happens.
It did happen.
Spoiler.
But like all of their interesting stuff was all hypotheticals until it became real.
Well, that's usually how they work.
All just planning like someday we will be cool, right? Like that's Fists.
Interesting.
They're just planning to be cool in the future.
I think you're kind of saying what I'm saying, and Iron Warriors are not that dissimilar.
Iron Warriors, so obviously I like Iron Warriors a bit less than Fists because I love Fists. The thing that bugs me about Iron Warriors is they're like really grumpy. Like they're just like so grumpy to each other all the time. If you actually read the books.
They're grumpy. I have read the books. Well, I've read the Heresy books. So I don't know.
Well, even the one with Perturabo, when he's dealing with Fulgrim and everything, gives you a bit of insight to sort of the animosities between like this guy's not really a siege master, but he makes people call him that, and this blah blah blah, and this kind of stuff.
Well, I
love that. They're like this
dour.
drama.
That's a great word.
Dour.
Eldon Firefly.
Yeah, dour is good.
I mean, they're supposed to be the begrudged chapter. They're like,
Yeah.
they're the one where literally the Chaos and the Imperium side are identical. And one of them is just favored all the time, so the other one's just always has a chip on their shoulder about everything. So Iron Warriors are always just like, stupid fists, we do the same stuff, we don't get the same treatment. Why don't we get to build cool castles? No, we just get to siege stupid alien castles all the time. We want to build cool castles. So they're like that with each other. They're just petty.
I agree.
Iron Warriors are just petty.
All the factions are really petty, especially when the Primarchs are.
That's true.
That's true.
Perturabo is one of my favorite characters, actually, because he's so weird. Like, he just wants to tinker, and literally he has miniatures that he wants to build.
Yeah.
And I just think he's such a great character, because he could be so boring, but he's actually compelling, in my opinion. And the way that his interactions with Fulgrim, who kind of,
It's almost more interesting that he's not interesting. His lack of interest, actually, in some way.
I don't want to agree with that.
I think fists are made interesting only viewed through the lens of another chapter.
Well, I'm talking about Iron Warriors here. Perturabo.
I think Iron Warriors
I think Doran is...
except for that
are
chapter.
not interesting.
No. Okay. I think, here's the thing. I think fists are more interesting than Doran, and I think Perturabo is more interesting than the Iron Warriors.
Oh, interesting. I think Doran is the most interesting. I think Doran is the most interesting part of fists.
Okay, why?
Because, like, he is this weird... He actually gets to express all the stuff that the fists don't get to express.
I see.
Like, he gets to have emotions.
Yeah.
He gets to have tantrums.
Yeah.
He gets to actually build cool things, not just what he's told to build.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to be creative. He is a character, whereas fists are a caricature. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I get that. I can.
So, like, I think Doran is an interesting character, but never viewed from the lens of fists, because fists just view him as one of them. But like the book where Raven Guard go to Terra and they have to go through the maze.
Yeah.
That book is super revealing about Doran. Because Doran only has a few lines, but like they're important lines, and he also built this giant maze. That says a lot about Doran. And it's interesting. He's a cool character. Like, he built this giant labyrinth that's always moving to protect the gene seed of the Primarchs. That's dope.
Yeah, he's definitely a supporting character in a lot of the stories.
Yeah.
There's the one where they're like, Demon Russ, we want you to assemble a kill team of like different chapters to go kill Horus.
Yeah.
And Doran's just like in the background. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? And so he's like always kind of in the stories, but can't always participate, which is interesting. Yeah. Anyways,
He can't. He's always in the stories, but can't.
Well, he's never allowed to leave
he's not
Terra.
a main character.
I
Like,
would say
he's involved in all the plots, right? But he doesn't get to go on, like, he's not being Lehman Russ that's like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to go do this like 007 mission,
I think what's compelling about these two factions, we think of like what is the specialty in 30K from a heresy standpoint.
Yeah.
Thousand Sons magic and shock assault for Horus's Sons of Horus.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Fists are standing, and that's their specialty, standing. And then I think that Iron Warriors is
Why does he do this? I can't tell, like,
He can't even keep a straight face.
Iron Warriors
he can't be serious.
is walking. And that's what makes these
No,
two.
you were so wrong.
We have
Oh my
some
God.
chats to get to.
You're so beyond wrong.
That was so good.
Horus Heresy is
He
like,
broke character. That was amazing. He couldn't do it.
you're so wrong. I will fight you.
So ridiculous.
We should move on.
We have mail.
We have
do have mail.
Okay.
We have mail.
That's exciting.
And we apologize for how long it's taking to get to mail.
We really do.
Because you've been out, or we had like Thanksgiving last week, so it's taken a little while. This is a letter from...
This is a letter from the eBay retailer.
Thank you.
And it's telling us
You gonna read it?
how much, thank you so much for your purchase. Us here at Up and Beyond Deals. Shout out to you, Up and Beyond Deals.
I love that you're doing this. This is great.
They will not be taking any refunds. That's what the letter is about. Also, they don't sell any tobacco, firearms, and they've sanitized everything. That's what the letter's about.
Okay.
But Up and Beyond Deals, what up? And
Real quick, we do have a quick update on that maze. Super cool. It was actually built by the Emperor. Doran didn't even build that maze.
Doran didn't build a maze? What?
So again, Doran, very
But he
interesting guy
told-
for these reasons that
he told
he's
Korax
always in the
where to
background.
go.
He was in the background.
He
of
is
the
always in the
maze,
background,
right?
yeah.
That's what's so cool about
But he told...
standing,
I thought he made the maze.
standing around while the maze was
Because
made.
he told Corvus Corax where the maze was.
He stood and told somebody where the maze was.
People stand.
but especially fists.
Adrian's like, all right, now I have to defend standing. To defend fists, I must defend standing.
Because you can make something sound ridiculous when you like take it to like the max ad nauseum to be like, this is how ridiculous it is. You're like, well, everything's ridiculous when you reduce it. You know? Oh, what's this?
All right, so while we were in Gibraltar,
There was the original thing was this is for Bridger because you enjoyed wearing it so much. What does that mean?
So in Gibraltar, who even brought the belt?
So
Mikey brought it.
Mikey brought it.
Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming
Yeah, shout out
brought an inflatable WWE belt.
Why is this?
And when he lost, whoever held the belt,
Well, because the reason he brought it
there
was a reason.
was a story.
Because round one we had pairings that went up when they did the announcement.
Oh, that's right.
And they were the only studio to get paired against each other.
Yeah.
So he got paired up against, I don't think it was Ellie, I think it was Tom.
Sounds right.
And they were going to have to play round one, traveling all the way to Gibraltar, and they have to, like, it's like if Bridger and I played, right?
Right.
And so he said, well, you know what? We're going to bring our own belt.
Make some stakes.
Whoever wins gets the belt.
Gets to keep the belt.
And then
for every game after, whoever wins in the belt game gets to keep the belt. So the belt was supposed to like change hands throughout the entire event. So I got to round 5, last game of the event, and it was back to Mikey. I was playing Mikey, and he had the belt again. He was like, Bridger, you get the belt for now. Or no, I actually won the belt off Liam.
yeah, no, you actually won it. Yeah.
Or no, not off Liam. Off, oh wow, that was, not Liam. I did spend a lot of time with Liam.
Was it
Off of,
your husband? Yeah,
no, Liam was my husband.
that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't, I never played Liam. Although I would have liked to. 'cause
Was
Harlequin's a good
it
matchup.
Pleasant Kenobi?
It was Pleasant Kenobi.
Okay.
He had won the belt off of. We're not going to trace the lineage of the belt,
I mean,
but
you're trying.
by round 5, I had won the belt off of Pleasant Kenobi.
Don't you dare type.
This is a lot larger than the belt we had. This is a big belt.
No, that's. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think you have to blow it up.
It's
now.
going to take a lot of
You
time.
better get started.
But so we got to round 5. The belt was to me. I played Mikey.
Yeah.
We had a very close game.
Yeah, super close.
Super close game. And he won the belt back and took it home. But there were a bunch of pictures with me in the belt having a good time.
You're wearing it upside down.
So
too.
thank you. I was wearing it upside down because it said M,
For
which meant something at the time.
monkey.
No. I don't remember what though. It meant something.
Yeah, good story.
I don't remember.
So thank you very much for sending the belt for Bridger.
Why? Is this just a plug? That's not a valve. I
You have
think
to
that's.
open it.
Oh, I have to pinch it. I do. I have to open the valve.
I'm concerned for
Folks
you.
at home, we do have some questions while Bridger does this. I was about to type to our friend Bryce that I think his comment that Doran is the Hank Hill of 30K is good. We want to move on from that, so I want to type. But we got a new keyboard, and it's quite loud.
It's a mechanical keyboard.
It's a mechanical
I got
keyboard.
the guys a gamer keyboard so they can type faster.
It's cool. We're gonna maybe test the volume towards the end of the stream, but we'll see.
Do you think me blowing this up is loud? I think the mic is definitely picking this up.
yeah, but they'll be into it.
They're into it?
Yeah.
Well,
Chad, are you into this?
Chad, are you into watching, but more importantly, hearing Bridger blow up a WWE belt? Thank you, Brandon Paul. Need help deciding between 2 units. I'm cracking, highly cracking, running 5 big melee bugs with 20 Genestealers.
Nice.
Should I run
Leviathan.
Genestealers? Okay. Should I run an extra 16 Leviathans or 30 Termagants with Devourers for that sick 180 shots with the Strat?
Look, I think you should for sure get those Termagants in there. Not just because of the offensive capability, but if you even look at when we played this game, when was it? Tuesday, Saturday? Last time we played it, very recently, I didn't use the strats at all. I just used them as...
They're talking about Scorch Bugs or whatever the one that...
no, because you would think it's with Devours. And the thing you can do with the Devours now is you give them the full rerolls, auto-running on 6s, I think. It's a bunch of other strats. Funny enough, not Scorch Bugs. And it does a bunch of damage, basically. But it's just a bunch of cheap wounds, cheap bodies. Right now, they have a bunch of big monsters, and they have Genestealers, which are still relatively expensive, right?
Right.
And so, just seeing chat come up. I think for sure go with the Termagants for the offensive, but also just for cheap bodies. I think that's what you need on your list.
I think the M was for Mikey, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Oh, that didn't take too long.
No, it actually does not require very much air.
Wow. Well, there you go.
This is my belt
It looks
now,
good.
Does it?
Thank you. Thank you, Fang of Fate. So happy to see one of my favorite matchups. You guys are amazing. Question, is it possible to bring the Iron Jaws elite unit playstyle into 40k orcs? I'd love to play an orc army that isn't a horde.
Buggies?
Yeah, so it would be buggies, for sure.
Which
Hands
is
down.
now more palatable.
Well, because of dang Hive Guard, I'm really concerned for it, honestly.
Oh, I meant palatable for the opponent.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It might be too palatable.
Maybe.
Buggies, still great. Playable.
Yeah.
Elite. As far as like Iron Jaws, where it's like brutes and things like that, you know, you can like I think Mega Knobs and stuff are still interesting.
Do they still have like the 4 like Ard boys? Is that still a thing?
That's a
40k unit? It used to be a 40k unit.
It used to
No.
be a strat that upgrades a unit.
those are boys.
There was like a 4 armor orc, like
So no, there's no.
at least back in 5th edition.
Yeah, no, I see what you were saying. There's no Ard boys.
Okay.
There's not even Scar boys anymore.
Did they take out the loot it strat too?
I don't know.
I'll bet they did.
I don't.
It was a goofy strat.
It's super goofy. But Goths basically, they're kind of all Scar boys now. That's like
Okay.
the closest thing,
Okay.
basically. That was kind of that transition over time. But you could play Mega Knobs. But otherwise, yeah, I'd say like Mega Knobs and or Kill Rigs. Actually, I'd put that as the same list.
Yeah.
In Goths and stuff like that. Or Buggies, very elite.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that because Hordes are a pain in the butt. When I've played Horde Orcs, I've had to like take breaks and like play another army for a little bit because it's just like exhausting at events. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that I do like that about the AOS Iron Jaws. Like I like how orcs have gotten like weirdly elite in AOS.
So elite. I was looking at the
2 wounds and they're
gosh.
just like yeah.
at the last GW Open. 2 of the best Iron Jaws lists were actually 2 of the only undefeated lists. It was there's 3 undefeated, 2 Iron Jaws and 1 Lumineth, actually, and both Iron Jaws had like 12 Gore Gruntas,
I see.
and that was like the majority of the army.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Interesting. Thank you, Brandon Paul. A little more on my Kraken list.
cool.
He specifies he's running 2 Malanthropes for the -1 to hits, a Broodlord, 20 Leviathan Genestealers, 1 Ripper Swarm, 2 Lictors, 2 Dimachorons, 1 Scythe Heraldal, and 2 Stone Crusher Carnifexes. We don't see a lot of those.
No, we don't.
That's cool though.
Cool. I like it. I assume the 2 Malanthropes, it gives you coverage, but it also lets you go across the 2 different hive fleets. Generally, if you were 1 hive fleet, I would say try to keep it to 1, and just it's a question of like 2 will be easier for you to play, but you could probably get away with 1 if you learn to really play it well. Because of the 2 hive fleets, I assume that's why. In that case, I think it's fine. I like it.
It's so interesting how almost, with 1 update, and I guess the meta changing around them, Tyranids are suddenly like scary.
Tyranids are like top tier.
It's another one of those Codex unit things,
It's
though, where
Hive
like
Guard, right?
all of the competitive 8th edition books are built around a unit.
Well, what's the unit for these guys?
Hive Guard.
I don't know that it's true though.
That's a significant portion.
Well,
of
Did you
why
watch
they're-
John and I play?
I'd love to see some non-Hive Guard.
No.
lists.
But there's a difference between having 1 unit of Hive Guard in an army and saying that's the only way you play it.
I see.
But
That's an incorrect
No,
statement,
the list
in
is
my
built
opinion.
around stalling for the Hive Guard. Like every unit in the army buys time for Hive Guard in some way or another.
That's a very big oversimplification.
Like you just put units on objectives, you move block, you delay, you fight last,
That's
and
not,
Hive Guard just chip away
No, that's not how it plays,
and
really.
push your holding advantage.
That's how you play but again, but even what you're saying is like these other units are doing their job. I'm sorry that the
Standing in a
Devourers
place and having OPSEC.
that's not glamorous, but it's good.
But every codex has something that can stand in a place and have OPSEC.
Can they have double obsec?
Standing in a place. This guy.
it's good. You guys are so wrong. I'm serious. Like the Termagants are amazing. Why are we talking about Devour Bombs? Genestealers getting double exploding 6s. We're talking about the what's the other one I'm thinking of? Well, Swarmlord kind of just makes all these things, other things do things, but like these are the 3 units. I'd say
CSM is very similar though. Like I think of Chaos Terminators as similarly good as Genestealers.
I don't disagree that Codex Chaos Space Marines is Codex Obliterator or Codex Terminators. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I disagree with the comparison to.
Oh, but I'm saying those
Tyranids.
are like Tyranids are better than CSM because their units that stand places are cheaper and fearless. And Codex Hiveguard is good because Hiveguard are out of line of sight. If Obliterators were out of line of sight, just imagine for a moment a world where Obliterators had no line of sight shooting.
Sure.
Same profile.
Sure. Still not as good as Tyranids.
Not as good as Tyranids because their OBSEC costs more and is less mobile and isn't fearless.
There's a lot of things.
But now, but now we're talking, right? Like
mean, sure.
now,
yeah.
they're the same book essentially.
No. Well, if you change 5 things about one book and give another ability to a unit, I don't know, maybe. It's a weird claim you're making.
They're both codexes where they have like a hammer.
I think the current Tyranid...
A hammer and a half.
The good Tyranid... Well, the Tyranid list that's not the Manichima style list, I think is very compelling because it relies on so many different types of units. I don't think it's Hiveguard that carry it.
But not
personally.
as hammers. The
they are hammers.
Malanthrop is kind of a hammer.
The Malanthrop.
The Maliceptor.
Maliceptor. The
It's kind of a
Genestealers are
hammer.
hammers?
Kind of.
No, they are hammers. What?
Kind of. If they get fight lasted, they died at everything.
This list has 2 fight lasts.
Right. And if you both fight last.
Wait. So
Is
now,
it active player or not?
Now you're arguing that fight last is important, which I agree with.
No, if you're both fight lasted. Who starts? I've actually forgotten. It's been so long since this has been
It
relevant.
depends. If the Charger goes first, then.
Active player?
Charger. Because that has fight first. And now one person is fighting last, another person is fighting normally.
Right.
Which
yeah.
Genestealer's really good at because they can advance and charge and double move. Again, Swarmlord, another Hiveguard, non-Hiveguard unit, that's important. I don't know, I just think it's...
It serves a purpose, just like a Chaos Sorcerer or a Chaos Lord. It's not...
You're so
they're not units that
oversimplifying
carry
it.
the book, though.
Oversimplifying it.
They're not that good.
So you think the only reason this book is good is because of Hiveguard?
That's what pushed them over, yeah. I mean, they had literally the rest of this. Exploding sixes on Genestealers is not changing the world. It's not earth-shattering.
I just...
But Hiveguard hitting on 2s with exploding sixes, it was already their best unit, and now they're hitting on 2s, so it's even better.
Yeah.
And now they're rerolling 1s.
I'm not saying it's not
even
the best
better.
unit.
The
I'm just
big
saying
thing
it's
that
not
changed is
Codex
Hiveguard went from great to amazing.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Brian. How's Adrian going to look like the villain from a 90s Steven Seagal movie?
How am I going to?
Seagal, not Seagal.
Seagal.
Steven.
Isn't he a terrible person? That's what I mean. I shouldn't say things like this with our platform, but that's what I've heard.
I
is
know
that
nothing about
Steven
him.
Seagal is actually a terrible person.
I know nothing about him as a person, I should say.
I also know nothing.
You put that out there?
Pure conjecture. This is what I heard.
Wildly conjecturing.
Oh, it's probably the shirt, too.
Well, of course, here he's using how in the colloquial. He
Like
means
I am.
you are doing it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
why are you doing
That's the
it?
kid's
Let's ask
fun
more. The more compelling part of this would be how are you going to do it next time?
How am I going to do it?
So-
always be adapting, you know?
Yeah, you
That's
just got to check out some of his
ABC, always be
movies.
conniving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian, for that.
Thank you.
And thank you, Matt. Hey, Titans. Used to play Chaos Space Marines back in 5th.
Cool.
And my Defiler was my favorite model to use. Got back into it now in 9th and was thinking about getting another for nostalgia. Could it still be of any use? 2 Defilers. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think 2 is better than 1 here because it lets you kind of focus on this strategy. If one gets shot down, the other one can still kind of fulfill on that strategy. I do highly encourage you to look at Iron Warriors for all the reasons that we saw here today. It's kind of as I was mentioning earlier, like we have a Defiler, have not used it because our collection is Black Legion, and I don't think it's super compelling for Black Legion. But for Iron Warriors, totally. To tell the truth, I was waiting to see the Death Guard book because I was going to actually turn it into Death Guard back when you give them a 5+ Feel No Pain. And then they were like, actually, you can't do that anymore. And I was like, okay, well, guess you're going back in the closet, Defiler.
But as Thousand Suns, you can 5 Bimmel.
Yeah, also, it's a demon engine, so it already has that.
Yeah.
2 5+ involved.
You can have it for 2 reasons.
And your Defiler gets +1 to cast.
If they take away your demon keyword, you'll still have a 5 Bimmel.
That's not how that works.
It is a cool model, and it actually
It's cool.
It's almost the beginning of the concept of Demon Engine. I mean, it was
Yeah.
around for over a decade before the Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend, and the Helldrake came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it holds up, I think, compared to those.
It's so classic, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
I think chat was agreeing with me about Steven Seagal.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it.
As a heads up.
Okay.
I just saw Adrian simping for Hiveguard.
Yeah. Thank you, Siege Roots. Have not had any 40k games, but I'm playing in a special ops group for Kill Team.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I'm a Stardies intercessor, so I'm a trash team. But man, is it fun! I need a 2k game soon, though. I'm jonesing.
Yeah. Then they can shine. Assault Intercessors.
Space Marines got done dirty in Kill Team.
Did they really?
Because you can't mix at all.
So you have like Assault Intercessors is like the one thing you have.
you just have 5 Assault Intercessors.
What?
That's your whole Kill Team.
What?
The kill, so that's
That
right.
sucks.
You were talking about this.
Or 10 Scouts.
Yeah, the kill teams are like Pathfinders, or it's not like you're like.
But
in the
most
last
factions
one.
can mix and match.
Yeah.
Like Necrons, you'll get like 5 Warriors, 5...
But you're buying blocks.
What are the,
What the heck?
what are, crypt,
like
what are
that.
their Crypt Horrors for Necrons?
Flayed ones.
Flayed ones, yeah.
yeah.
So like you'll mix and match, like 5 of this, 5 of that.
What?
Sisters, you can get like 5 Repentia, 5 Battle
How
Sisters.
big is a kill team?
Well, but that's the thing. Space Marines, because they have 2 activations per model,
Yeah.
you only get 1 fire team.
But even so, most kill teams are 10 models.
Yeah.
I guess this comes in the box.
Unless you're like Space Marines or Custodes or something. But even Custodes, that's the weird thing. You get 4 Custodes because you get 2 fire teams. Or you get 2 Custodes and 5 Sisters of Silence.
Right, right.
Which is cool.
It's just Space Marines that they were like, no.
Weird. That's so weird. Well, yeah.
They got done
Get a 2K game going. You'll see them shine. We love Assault Intercessors in 2K. Still great troops.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Has Adrian seen the new Genestealer Cult rules preview? Genestealer cults are looking more like a ambush army, like the ambush army they should have been all along.
Did you see their Crossfire rules?
I was going to say, they revealed Crossfire today, which is very exciting. Do you know how Crossfire
the
works?
original Crossfire game?
Nope.
Yeah.
Because that
Someone sent me that.
when I owned the game. I don't think I knew how it worked. Yeah, I looked at it. It looks very cool. It looks like it almost reminded me immediately. I was like, wow, I feel like this is like the type of thing like people who play Flames of War and stuff, like
Right.
people who play like these these war
Historical
games
war
where
games.
where you have like, ooh, here's my unit in the bunker and my other unit's in the building, and if you come in between, I get these.
Right?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It's super interesting. It's weird because it's looks to be a shooting mechanic, and ultimately not really a shooting army.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like
quite powerful.
my understanding of the game design perspective there is like their shooting is bad, but maybe if we just give them enough buffs, it'll be okay.
Look, actually, let me
think
just
they
confirm
also-
what you guys know.
You know,
One
to
second.
me, I think some of, even speaking in Kill Team, right? Even in Kill Team, when they had the crude army, they were fun because they could shoot okay and they could fight okay. And I kind of feel like Genestealers, it's like Genestealer call, it's like the little neophyte guys, right? They're the ones with the guns. Is that what they're called?
Neophytes have guns,
Neophytes,
yeah.
like, you know, it's.
They
I
have
think,
just las guns.
I think it's
Auto guns.
which is
That's the
the
problem.
same,
Yeah.
right? Or even, but it's kind of about doing a little bit of damage here and a little bit of damage like in every phase of the game.
Well, I
is
don't
how the army.
think we know what has the Crossfire keyword.
Sure.
I don't think that is known.
I think they showed though in the example. I think like one of the.
Well, there's a picture here of acolytes.
of the Crossfire board
neophytes.
game from the 80s. What?
Yeah, shooting with a Ridge Runner. So we can imagine. It's
I mean,
these
if
kinds of
Rich
units.
Runners have Crossfire, we're just gonna be back to Ridge Runners, right?
Maybe.
Because it gives. What does it give?
So
Plus-
here's the way it works. If you're a Crossfire unit, if you have like Crossfire token, you get +1 to hit. If they have a Crossfire token, and you're shooting across, and there's another Crossfire unit across from you, then you're also getting +1 to wound.
if the lines cross, if the lines of fire cross.
No, it's just one line. It's just one line. You're going from one of your units, from one Crossfire unit, to another one of yours, and there's an enemy unit in.
Oh, if you're sandwiched, how do you even
How do you do that? See, that's the thing. It's not as easy as you think. However,
Crossfire?
But the
Imagine
army
you-
has tools to pop up. and
up.
play, Yeah.
Maybe you can run around. If bikes have it, that'll be interesting. +1 to wound. This is weird. And +1 to hit is massive. I think it is tough because, like you said, these are tiny little. Okay, your weapons, auto guns, and mining
if-
lasers are great. So
But if it's a lot of shots with +1 to hit and +1 to
yeah.
wound,
I mean-
even if the AP's not there, it's.
No, what I envision is you have like setup and payoff. Like you have garbage units that you put behind them
Right.
that have the Crossfire keyword, and you're like, this is dead.
Yeah.
It was never going to do anything. Its guns are bad. but it gives +1 to hit and +1 to wound for the rest of my army, who now just blows you up.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
That's how I view this work.
And that's the ambush element that I think Joe's talking about, right? It's like their ambushes, they pop up and you're surprised by them, and everybody else is shooting them in the back. Right? It's kind of cool.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's certainly very narrative. Thank you, Broken Chef, as always. This question is actually for Eldon Firefly. Bridger, your thoughts on Custodes' new rules making more complex or harder to play?
I don't know about more complex, because I think it's going to be essentially protocols again, where you'll pay attention or you won't, but it won't. There's no in between of like, you're not going to have any tough decisions around your katas, as far as I can tell. It's like, you set it up pregame, you can either skip over a stance and go to the next one, or just do your stances in order. That's the only decision. Once the game starts, that's the only decision you have. It's like, okay, it's my turn. Do I want to do 1B or go to 2A? That's your only decision.
Right.
So it doesn't like make playing Custodes more complex. It's just another rule that's like an incremental buff for you to forget. Like, oh, you couldn't fall back this turn because we had to do a roll off and I forgot. Oops. So in that regard, it's more complexity.
Yeah.
Do I think it adds to the experience of playing Custodes? No. Did protocols add to the experience of playing Necrons? No.
Some people might just.
These are slightly better. These are like double the tiny bonus. Like protocols were insignificant to the point of being completely ignored. These are definitely impactful in the right scenario. It's just so hard to get yourself in that scenario. I don't know.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
What do I think about the new rules overall? I think the new shield hosts look dope. Custodes are getting a lot of rules that they had never had access to before. Solar Watch. I think everybody's going to be playing Solar Watch. That's what I'm claiming. The internet right now is on fire about the 4-up Feeling the Pain Immortals. But,
why?
Because, I don't know. They're into that.
So they're like one weakness.
Because, it's like theoretically Custodes are weak to mortal wounds because it gets around your durability. But if you never actually get to do anything, I don't think that matters. I think people are going to come to that realization and switch over to Solar Watch because it lets you do things.
Let's play the game. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Great to see my 4th Legion brothers on the channel play games with friends at 1,000 and 1,500 points. One IG brings 2 full payload mana cores. Tips to deal with them.
Yeah, that's pretty.
At 1K
and you're playing
1,500.
And you're playing Iron Warriors. That's rough.
Raptors.
He's playing Raptors?
No, bring Raptors. Bring bikes. CSM. You want to tag these things and make it so they can't do anything.
Oh, if you warp time?
Yeah.
You could touch them in turn 1.
100%.
With bikes?
Yeah.
You'd have to put your sorcerer on jump pack like kind of out there.
Or you have a bigger squad, which I think is already compelling.
Yeah.
A big squad of bikes. I've been caught off guard by it, even playing like AdMech, right? Because you can trail them all the way back so that your front is very far forwards, but your back is within 3 inches of your sorcerer.
Yeah.
Move again. That's how obviously that only solves it for a turn or so, but I think you'll find that they're going to have a tough time removing them.
That'll solve it forever against Guard. Guard has no way.
Right.
Once Guard is tagged, and especially with a unit with that much surface area, if you get in there, you're going to touch everything.
Right.
You're going to touch all the things that, like, their plan is to fall back with the Manticores and shoot you with something else, but you're going to touch whatever they were going to shoot you with.
Right.
You're just going to touch everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Tank commanders, most of their turret weapons are blast. They're going to be shooting heavy bolters at your bikers. That's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
If you get in there, it's lights out.
100%. I agree.
Thank you, Siege Roots, again. Man, do those heavy intercessors do anything that game? No. I mean, man, they really don't do much. Anyway, how should I load out the box I have for Ultramarines? LOL.
I know.
Okay.
You know.
So heavy intercessors. Here's the thing: they're more expensive, slightly more durable, slightly more lethal intercessors.
Yeah.
Why are we taking intercessors? Not for either of those things.
Right.
So it's like, how do you lean into their strengths? Other units do their strengths better. That's the problem. Like,
that's the problem.
If you want a more durable unit, you take Blade Guard. If you want a more lethal unit, you take Eradicators, who are also T5 anyway.
Yeah. I think I think generally speaking, yeah, because of this, if you're going to take them, which you are, siege routes, you kind of go middle of the road. You know, we win with the rapid fire weapons. I will say that there's 2 chapters that can mess with this a bit, and one of them is Ultramarines, because you could go with the heavy version, and when you're in your tactical doctrine, you're going to ignore the negative penalties. So for a couple turns, you can actually have a profile that's actually different than a regular intercessor.
Yeah.
They're backfield shooting for 2 damage. They're heavy bolters, basically.
Yeah. And are the AP2 base? Because the rapid fire one is AP1, and usually the heavy version gets an AP.
Yeah, let me check. I don't know
Like
if the
stalker
AP
bolters get an extra AP.
Because
that's interesting. In tactical doctrine, you'd be AP3,
right,
2 damage,
right.
That's like a
Yeah.
good heavy bolter.
Let me see.
But it's 1 shot. I don't know.
I know. I'm just thinking about something different. Otherwise, I would just get them out with rapid fire. Just be generically generic, right? It'll be decent at whatever.
You can also just leverage the Ultramarine bonuses, like Seal of Oath or Gilliman. Ultramarines have a bunch of ways to get rerolls that most other chapters don't. And they are core, so they get all those rerolls, right? I mean, you can just try to crank up their lethality through buff characters. That's something. Chief Apothecary to bring 1 back every turn is cute.
It's cool. Yeah, Executor Bolt Rifle, range 42, so longer range.
Pretty good.
Heavy 1, strength 5, -2 for 2.
Yeah. So it goes up to AP3 in Tactical Doctrine.
That's actually cool.
That's something.
So if you're looking for something different, do that. I'll tell you a little secret about these models, though, and ultimately most Space Marine bolters is nobody's going to fault you if you run them as something different.
Nobody will even know.
Yeah, it's totally cool.
It's a change of scope.
We play in tournaments all the time, and it's not a thing. It's all good. So that's also an option.
Just play them however you like them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike H5. Good evening, Titans. Caught up on 1.5 times speed just as you finished.
Cool.
2 models to paint, 6 more to paint and assemble, and my pseudo iron hands are at 2K.
Woo!
Nice.
That's exciting. Oh my gosh. It always feels good when a project finally comes together, right?
You can play it on the table. That's exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Pseudo Iron Hands. I'm into it.
And
Thanks,
thank you.
Oh, just thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, the Steelyard. You're invited to a best of 3 games, 3-round, 500 points.
I am?
40K tournament, but your list must include 1 named character. Who's your champion?
Oh. Okay.
But my 500-point army was 2 Warglaves and a Helverin.
There's no named Warglaves, huh?
Or Helverins.
Bummer.
The only named knight.
There is a named Helverin, turns out.
The giant named knight, the preceptor guy.
Yeah.
Who gets out when he dies. He's a little...
Named character.
Who's my champion? Can it be my whole army?
So, well, you'll have to change army. I'll stick with orcs. What are you going to do for
I'm
yours?
going to take a sermon and just all Dire Avengers. That's going to be my list.
That's like actually good.
Yeah, I know, right? Just
I'm into it.
6s.
Wait, do you think this is Quipster?
6s?
No, it's not Quipster.
Do we know who's texting?
It was Quipster.
Do we know who's texting you while
I'm
you're
not
on air?
convinced it was
And
Quipster.
you're
Interacting
answering.
with fans. No, we don't know.
Wow, hurtful.
No, it wasn't Quipster.
I think it would be Mozrog, the name Squigasaur boss, Aroni.
Oh,
So fun.
yeah, fun.
I'm sticking with orcs. Fun for me.
it's a strong pick.
It's a strong pick. This is a tournament, best of 3. It's important.
Yeah, but I just want to play Warglaves and Helverins.
I actually want to play my sermon and like all Dire Avengers. Pack as many. I'm gonna see how many Dire Avengers I can pack.
We should do it.
Yeah.
I was telling Bridger, he didn't like my idea, but I was like, we should do a stream where we all play like 500-point game in like succession. We're done in like 20 minutes each. All right, next one in.
It
do
will
the
not.
gauntlet.
It will not be good.
It would be so
It
fun.
will not be good.
For us. I don't know about for
No,
you guys.
because it'll be fun for like 10 minutes,
And
and,
you're
then
like,
we'll be
oh,
like, oh,
this
right.
doesn't work.
Warhammer does not work below 2,000 points. Like, this is
I like it.
farcical.
I'm into it.
Those quick turnarounds. That's what Aeronautica's for. We've seen that. We just like play.
Yeah.
Done. You play.
But at least
done in 10
that
minutes.
feels like a balanced, satisfying game where you're like, my decisions
agree.
mattered,
Yeah.
not, oh,
I see.
They wrote all these rules for a different scale.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd pick because all the factions I play, their name characters cost more than half that army. So like I wouldn't, like
Trajan?
Custodes Trajan costs like 200 points.
Well, it sounds like you have 300 points left to make with Sisters of
Dante
Silence.
also costs like 200 points.
You can take Brother Corbulo.
But all the cool. I would want to take a cool name character. I wouldn't want just like
Lord of Death,
some guy
points.
to fulfill the requirement of having a named character. You know, like
Yeah.
I want
I respect
the total. Like I want Gilliman. You know, like I want all in. Like if I'm taking a named character, I want to take a named character. You know, like take a named character. You know,
What?
Dominate.
Look, if I had to take a new character, I wanted to be Mortarion. I just can't.
Dominate the battlefield.
Actually, you could literally take Mortarion in this.
How many points is the one John loves? The Yincone or the
Incarn?
Cone, Karn.
Yinkarn?
275,
Usually
375.
it's like 300. Yeah.
Incarn.
Yeah.
The
The
Incone.
Incone.
Yincone. Thank you, Average Joe Kroot Dude.
Oh, what's up?
3K of Kit Bash Kroot Army so far. What to add to the army next? Adrian has me on Insta if y'all need to consult the list of units I just posted.
I will actually show you. It's super cool.
My bad. Forgot. Oh, yeah, no problem, Joe. We got you. Forgot the $2 again. Thank you so much.
So Average Kroot Dude, super cool Instagram if you guys haven't seen. We had actually looked at it a while ago where he did the conversion of taking a dinosaur and converting it into a Kroot Taunar.
Yeah,
right?
very cool.
So really cool. It's really come together. You can see the full kind of, lots of really cool conversions.
Oh, yeah.
The Kroot community is quite strong, right?
Yeah, people love their Kroot.
Super, super cool. And so you can feel free to pinch and pull. But definitely check them out on Insta, guys. I'm trying to think what you're still missing, honestly. One of the things he just did was a conversion for Krootox, where they're basically like giant, they're like jacked up Kroot. They're like not Krootox,
I see.
but they're big, like
They're just
they're like
big.
Ogor.
There's like flying
Krootox.
dinosaurs in the right.
Yeah,
what are those?
Those are
Are those like
I don't remember.
crisis suits?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of them are counts as like they could be Remoras or Crisis or something like that. So
Oh, Remoras. I'll bet that's what those are.
they're probably
I'll bet
Remoras.
those are Remoras.
I don't know what you're missing, you know? If you don't have Crisis, that'd be an interesting challenge. Because that's not an easy thing to represent with Tau. I mean, with Kroot.
Kroot, yeah.
Like, you can't really make Kroot mechs. That feels awkward. It would be like...
I'm not into the Kroot mech thing when people do it.
Yeah,
personally.
no, it's
not
not-
for me. Yeah.
You have to kind of make it work in the context of like Kroot technology.
Yeah.
That is a challenge.
That one's a tough one. I'd be curious to see if you can pull it off. Apologies if you've already done it, but I'd love
I mean,
to see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like two Kroot in a trench coat. It's really
Now they're,
Yeah.
they're, yeah, that's their technology. though.
That's their technology.
I was gonna go into that and be like, well, actually, but then I realized that Bridger's answer is great. Two Kroot in a trench
Fair
coat
enough.
to
Fair
represent.
enough. Yeah.
Thank you, Crypt Shadow. What a great eBay retailer. He's referring here to, of course, our letter. Mikey from Hellstrom said you really enjoyed it, so thought you should get your own Bridger.
Yeah, it's dope, and I'm gonna keep it as an M for Mikey. It's not a W for wrestling. It's an M for Mikey,
100%.
or a W for Warhammer,
Yeah, that could be.
but an M for Mikey. No, we did have a really great time, and I believe Crypt Shadow did send the belt, and I did
This is
not say
correct.
his name.
You
and
did
I'm
not.
sorry, Crypt Shadow.
You're a monster.
I am a monster,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy the belt, and I think we should trade it. In fact, you won, so you can.
Oh,
have,
I'm the owner of the belt.
you can have the Mikey M. We're gonna have to come up with a way. Mikey did have to come up with a way to fasten, because it's just two loops on the back on
Oh,
each
yeah,
side.
yeah.
There's just two holes.
Makes sense.
So we need like a
So
cable to put through it or something. You sniffing the.
they said they don't produce tobacco, but it definitely smells like cigarettes.
They did say that.
It's
They
like
said-
I think they just protest a little too much. You know?
We won't be taking any refunds for opened or used items, or items that are accessories. For example, tobacco pipes, hair clips, or anything
Yeah.
for personal use.
It definitely smells.
This
like
is for
cigarettes.
personal use.
This is for personally. So
is
what
that?
you're gonna have to
Anything
decide.
for personal use. What is it?
This is a business gift. Excuse me. Trust me, you don't want to know it personally. You're gonna have to decide what matches are belt matches.
Every match.
We're just gonna like do this bit forever.
Well, if the person who has the belt is in the game, it's a belt game.
so Saturday.
You have a
versus
belt.
John?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a belt match.
All right, guys. So you're
I think that's like
Saturday.
there are lots of channels that have a gimmick. Like it doesn't have to take up a lot of time. It's just like pass the belt back.
I'm into it. All right, John. Calling you out. Thick City's coming for you.
So, average Joe crew dude, just wanted to clarify that Tetra is for the flyers.
Oh, okay, cool.
And one of them, one of the HQ flyers is a Cold Star.
Cold Star.
Oh,
I
that's
love it. That's awesome. Crisis. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Tetra.
Figure that puzzle out.
That is, I mean, other than 2 Cruton and Trenchcoat.
Yeah, I mean,
The
Super hard.
medium size, there's Narlox and Crutox.
And
Which
greater
one is
Narlox.
smaller?
maybe Narlox are a little smaller. They're both about the same size.
But that's like kind of crisis suit sized.
yeah, you could use like
But
I
they have to have the fly keyword.
Narlock. You could put
They jump, dude.
they jump.
They bounce. They're like
They jump.
squigs.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, because he also uses the pterodactyls from Seraphon.
Okay.
There's a lot of like lizardy things that you can
Oh,
convert.
yeah.
Lizardy things or bird things. You can convert one way or another to like a crude thing. So like maybe there's something that's similar that can have fly.
It's just it's a weird scale. Like the
Yeah.
crisis suit is not a natural scale. Like
No.
things tend not to be upright when they're gorillas are upright in that size.
Well, that's a Crutox. A Crutox is like very gorilla-like shaped.
Right. But then it also has to fly. Flying things tend not to be
With
that.
jetpack on it. So they probably.
Brett
don't have
and
jetpack.
Well, then they need
Bridger.
wings, right?
Brett and Bridger, you can get just into the most interesting conversations about scale.
Oh my god.
Like just the comment that a crisis suit is not a natural scale.
Well, it's-
I would like people to just at home to think about what that means. Like, what would that mean?
No, like gorillas are
There's
that
no
shape
animal.
and size.
There's no Earth animal to compare a crisis suit to.
I mean, there are. It's the gorilla.
So it isn't natural. Again, I just.
But gorillas don't
Am I
fly.
wrong?
Flying things tend not to be that
Look,
size and shape.
he already tucked me out with the whole Tyranid conversation, so I'm tired now. I can't. You deal with them.
I just want to know.
You do it.
Just scale is so compelling with these two. I love.
It's
I
a
love him.
strange size and shape.
Okay, no, it's true.
I mean, animals tend to go to the extremes, right? They end up as like gigantic, normal sized, or tiny.
What? What? There are
That's
three
animals.
sizes for animals. 3 sizes, all extreme: gigantic, normal, or tiny. These are the 3 extreme sizes that animals gravitate towards. Biology with Bridger. Okay. Well, look.
Age like 10 years.
Like
know.
between a dog and a hippo, what is there?
Guys, like, why do I get blasted for hot takes? Listen to this. This is crazy.
I guess bears are kind of in the middle.
I guess bears. As a start, yes, bears are in the middle of dogs and hippos.
They're not even though.
Horses. Thank you, Mike. Again, Mike, thank you.
Thank you.
What I love about Iron Warriors, oh boy, now this is gonna come. What I love about Iron Warriors is that they're using. We all have like a way that we're angry at each other here on the couch today. Thank you, Mike. What I love about Iron Warriors is that they're using modern World War I anyway, military tactics, and the dysfunction and disunity the era created.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like that's
yeah.
what they do. They just like they're like, hey, it's not ideal, but we need somebody to just walk at. We need somebody to walk at where all this blasting.
That
is
was
happening.
legitimately a World War I tactic. That's
Right,
true.
and that's kind of what makes
I
these
agree.
Iron Warriors
A
cool.
little
Like,
uncalled for a shot, but you know, okay.
no, but that is what the Iron Warriors do, right? They're like, who's gonna take like this full frontal assault head
Right.
on? It's Iron Warriors.
Well, yeah, and they have these sort of anachronistic sort of things of like, there's a whole concept of like we have the far future and we have like orbital bombardments.
Right.
And why are not all problems solved with that, right?
Yeah, right.
And you can come
Great
up with sort
question.
of reasons why, but it's still kind of hard to justify. And the Iron Wars do lean into this as like it's very like old school, like siege tactics where you're like making bunkers that somehow can like
Withstand.
you know, but it's cool and it's great and it's why we love 40K in the first sense. So I totally feel you. I'm like, I get it. Like it sounds like I'm talking smack. But
No,
actually, I love it.
same. And look,
know?
for what's worth, it's the same reason I do. You're right. I'm distilling it down, but I like that about the Imperial Fists. And when I say what makes them interesting is how boring they are, I mean that in a way that's like it's not a faction for me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there does need to be a faction that stands on the walls
Well,
like here they come, shoot them. Right?
But
That's
Death Guard are like more interesting Iron Warriors. They do the same thing in a less boring way.
Well, they're supposed to in the heresy. they're similar, but they're specialized for these like insane environments.
Yeah,
with
they'll
poison
withstand anything.
No, so you're oversimplifying it again.
They're the
You're like,
relentless.
they're real tough.
The relentless
And only
march.
one
That's like their
faction can be
thing.
real tough.
You can't stop the Death Guard from marching towards you.
You can't say
that's
that
like their
plague
thing.
and siege tactics are the same concept.
No. The Death Guard in Horus Heresy weren't about the plague. They were about just relentless. You could not stop them from walking towards you.
So
Ever.
that's
They will
not
just
true at
constantly walk towards you and they'll kill you.
It's not true at all.
That was like their thing.
No.
Well,
They
maybe
were unstoppable.
we might need to have a walking battle. Death Guard versus Iron
I think we need to have a history lesson, both real world and Horus Heresy. Talk about who used the most chem weapons during Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
why was the
That's
Death
their
Guard?
thing a little bit more.
They were more
And they come from a
disposed.
world where they literally, the air is toxic, and that's what makes them tough.
But the toughness was their Horus Heresy identity. It's like, we're just going to walk towards you
No.
unrelentingly.
No.
You can't stop us.
He's not gonna bait me anymore.
It's true.
No.
You can look it up. It's in the
No.
books.
Well,
It's in the books.
we have one more. Thank you, Aaron. We need more Savage Zach. We need to hear more about special standing abilities.
Special standing abilities.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, we're gonna be coming to blows by the end of this.
Well, look.
I wish I could read chat. I'm going to open chat on my phone because I feel like chat has some important things to say.
Quick, get the feed.
Yeah,
Leave another super chat.
Ah, dang it. Curse you, Michael Cody.
Look. These factions are cool. You know, often we talk about. Brett and I were talking about sisters, and I don't know how you guys feel, real quick. And I know we want to wrap this up, but I was saying about sisters. I was saying like,
Sure.
sisters are a really cool faction. I'm really glad they're in 40K.
Not for you.
I would never play them, but I'm so glad they're there.
Sure.
Right, and that's sort of what I mean. Like, I think that some of these factions just are not compelling for my playstyle.
No, I totally get it. I
Or
get it.
or even their background doesn't draw me in.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's a lot of factions like that for a lot of people.
No, I
think.
feel you. I totally get you. No, you're good. You're good.
Preachers are there smirking.
Just reading chat. Chat has
That's great.
fun things to say.
Yeah, thank you, Michael Cody. I apologize to Zach after hearing Bridger say that your takes are no longer hot. Thank you. By the way, it's something between a dog and a hippo. A Bridger, he's right, a person, a
You're
human.
somewhere between a nog and a hippo. We're not sure where.
That's a poor example.
Oh my God.
That's a great example.
There's a wide spectrum between dog and hippo, and I'm much closer to dog than hippo.
Well,
Juan, you walked into that one
Listen.
so easily.
listen, guys, we like to say we did it. Today we're going to say we did something.
We did something. I'm not sure what it is.
We did something here today.
Yep,
And
we're all talking to each other.
It is over.
good.
We think it is now over.
Yeah, well, thank
Yeah.
you everyone for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We were like this decompression after the game. You can relax a little bit. Intense game we just played. And of course, as always, just heads up, we of course have Titan's Terrain campaign continuing on Kickstarter, so get it now while you can. It's an awesome product. We like it, and if you have already got it, you can always still help by sharing it around and telling your folks about it. They could use a pair for when you go visit, maybe. And of course, Saturday we have the next battle for the belt, and this is going to be Drukhari. If we're gonna make it a thing, I'll make it a thing. It's going to be Drukhari, Meta Drukhari with paint engines against John and his brand new Grey Knights. Lots of Nemesis Dread Knights, lots of Interceptors. It's going to be super cool. Cool. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next time.